Welcome to HaslipCycleworks. I'm Robert, and today I'm going to give you a hand. Actually, I'm going to show you how to make a hand. Have you guys ever needed like a third hand? You're holding a couple pieces of steel together, maybe they're small or just real finicky, and you're trying to TIG weld them together, so you gotta work the pedal, you've got to hold the torch, and hopefully you can tack it together without using any filler. If you've been there, you know how cumbersome it is. So today I'm going to show you how to get that extra hand you need. We're going to build a third hand for the welding table today, but not just any third hand. Real simple, real cheap to do, but it helps out immensely. Parts for this are really simple, really cheap, and there's not a lot to them. The main component, one of the main components for this build is actually two of these 2-inch magnets from Harbor Freight. Really cheap. Of course, links to everything I'm going to show you in the description. The other part comes from Harbor Freight. It's one of their 2-inch spring clamps. Then we're going to need some hardware. I chose some stainless hardware for this. A piece of round stock. Size is completely up to you. I went with 5/16 and I got a 3-foot section. And then a stick of flat stock. I did 1/8 by 1 1/4 by 3 foot. And this size is really going to depend on the size of the clamp you're going to use. You can see, covers that without too much hanging over, but it's still a good solid width to use as a platform to hold our magnets. I'm going to throw up a couple pictures of some of these third hands that other people have made. Real quick Google search, image results, and as you can see, very simple construction, but you'll notice that there's not any with any sort of springs in them. The basic principle with these is the weight of the clamp itself is going to provide your pressure to hold your pieces in place. I wanted to take that a step further, hence the reason I went with the spring clamp, and also why I'm using magnets. And the magnets are real important to why this third hand is probably a better option than the ones shown on the screen. First step, this rubber stuff, just pop it right off. And we're not going to be welding on this, so we don't really care about the coating. Then our next step is actually going to be, we want to measure out our flat stock to be just longer than the clamp. We're going to round these ends off, but we're going to go ahead and cut 2 pieces exact same length that are going to fit, one on the top and one on the bottom of our clamp. we've got our magnets installed and our top plate all fitted, what we need to do is kind of bring this end of our rod to a point, and then we need to bend it here, bend it about here, down to the workpiece and over, and then maybe another slight bend here where we're actually going to weld it to this top plate. We're not going to weld directly to the clamp, because if we need to change this or make a different attachment, maybe with 2 points on it, that's the reason why we want a bolt-on to the clamp instead of just welding this rod directly to the clamp itself. It gives us some more options. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put a rather blunt tip on our piece, cut it to length. I bent our second angle, and as you can see, kind of lays right on there. I do have a piece, and this is an important step. You want to make sure that the jaws on this clamp are not closed when you bend this up. Otherwise, if you do, you set it up, there will be zero tension on the part once it reaches the table. So this way, even here, once we weld it in and pull this piece out of the clamp, there'll be a good amount of tension on here, so it'll hold whatever we put under it. So we don't need to do anything crazy as far as the weld on this, because I mean it is just a third hand tool, nothing structural. I'm gonna let this cool. I'm gonna round off the corners of this bottom plate like I did the top. Set it down on the workbench. Magnets are firmly down on the table. Even on the smaller stuff. Bam. Hold your piece down, do whatever you need to do. And it even acts as a ground. You can actually attach your ground clamp to this, and that will give you your ground for when you weld. And even when you get down close to the table with the workpiece, still plenty of tension, so no worries there. Now the reason for the magnets. One, you don't have to worry about any sort of special hardware. Can mount it on the side of the table. And if you find yourself in a weird position, say upside down, works upside down. And of course, because this is all bolt together, minus this piece here, you can make more of these plates and make whatever kind of arms or attachments that you could need. Hopefully some of you guys find this useful and you can recreate this yourself. But that's it. I'm kind of hoping to bring you guys a few more of these short videos, DIY stuff. Until next time, guys, get up, get out there and do it.